Welcome, everyone. If you have not received a copy of the workbook yet, please be sure to grab one. If you're watching this online, there should be a link in the show notes where you can find the downloadable workbook. But if you don't see it, you can go to entrefluencer.club and look for the links for workshops in the menu bar, and you'll be able to access it there. We'll get started in just a couple minutes here. Hello again, and thank you for coming to today's workshop. The title of today's workshop is called Finding the Right Idea, Brainstorming Your First Business. This is the first of 12 modules in the Bespoke Startup Workshop series. It's been strategically designed for aspiring entrepreneurs and early stage business owners who want a step-by-step roadmap that explains how to launch their first business or subsequent business the right way, vastly improving their chances for success. Today's workshop is sponsored by Coleman Tanner Consulting, your source for strategic business solutions. Pack your bags because I want you to take a quick trip into the life of Clayton Jefferson. And I want you to observe how relying solely on an idea is the wrong way to start a business. But first, let's back up and look at Clayton's background. Clayton is a 34-year-old male from Atlanta, Georgia. Has a good paying job as a mid-level marketing manager in corporate America, but he's always dreamed of leaving his 9 to 5 job and running his own marketing agency. He binge watched a bunch of YouTube videos. He followed entrepreneurial influencers. And finally, after some emotional encouragement from his son, he made the leap. Do you want to know what his first business idea was? It wasn't a marketing agency. His first startup was selling a custom sneaker cleaning kit. Why? Because his son Alex loved sneakers, and Clayton once cleaned a pair so well using his own concoction of cleaning lotion that his son suggested that he start his own shoe cleaning business. Alex's famous words were something like, "Dad, this could totally go viral." And Clayton was sold on the idea. It's fascinating how ego and pride can cause us to do some crazy things, isn't it? So Clayton invested. He bought inventory, he designed a logo, he launched a Shopify site, he ran ads, but within 3 months, sales flatlined. Why? Because Clayton didn't do any real market research. He had no audience that he actually knew how to reach. And for the record, trying to reach everyone is trying to reach no one. Because in the world of marketing, you need to take a sniper approach, not a shotgun approach. And worst of all, he wasn't even passionate about sneaker care. Clayton didn't fail because he wasn't smart. He failed because he didn't ask the right questions up front. He picked an idea based on cool, not clarity. Today's workshop is about not repeating Clayton's first time folly. Because the truth is, you don't need a genius idea. You need a grounded one that fits you, that solves a real problem, and has market potential from day one. Fortunately, Clayton kicked the sneaker cleaning business to the curb and started over, this time relying on the right process to improve his chances for success. We're going to have a front row seat to follow along in his journey. It's called Clayton's Compass. And hopefully, this will demonstrate for us how to replicate Clayton's successful second launch into entrepreneurship. So take a deep breath, step into the mindset of a bespoke startup founder who is not here to guess, but to design. We're about to unpack how to go from random idea to real opportunity. By the end of this session, you'll know how to differentiate a good idea from a great opportunity and how to avoid the distracting ones, the phenomenon that's called shiny object syndrome. You'll learn how to filter concepts based on your skills, interests, and what the market actually wants. And most importantly, you'll walk away with a business idea that's worth building. Let's begin. My lawyer, that would be me, tells me that I have to share this disclaimer up front so that I comply with federal and state laws. This workshop provides general information and insights for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be, nor should it be construed as, legal or financial advice. The information presented is not a substitute for professional advice tailored to your specific circumstances. You should consult with a qualified legal, financial, or other licensed professional advisors before making any decisions based on the information provided in this workshop. We make no warranties or guarantees regarding the success, profitability, or other outcomes resulting from the application of any information presented in this workshop. Participants are solely responsible for their actions, decisions, and the consequences thereof. Reliance on any information provided in this workshop is at your own risk. We disclaim any and all liability for any errors, inaccuracies, or omissions in the information provided, as well as any losses or damages that may arise from your reliance on the information. Please consult with your own legal and financial advisors to ensure that the information presented in this workshop is appropriate for your specific needs and situation. Thank you. All right, let's go over our objectives for today's workshop. It's my goal that you leave this workshop with a sound understanding of these three main concepts. Number one, that you understand the difference between an idea and an opportunity. Number two, that you're able to identify the nexus between your own personal zone of genius, motivation, what excites you, and market demand. That would be the third component. And number three, that you know how to use brainstorming frameworks to generate business ideas and market research to affirm that these ideas are aligned with what the market wants, what they're willing and able to pay for, and that there's room to grow in your business beyond your local market area. It's scalable. Why is it important that your bespoke startup have room to grow? Because at some point in the future, you may want to exit your business. And if you build a business that is solely reliant on you, then you won't have a business that's sellable, but mostly just assets that may be desirable at a nominal price. However, if you begin with the end in mind, with a goal that your business can grow into an enterprise, and then even after that, keep growing without you at the helm, then you can sell your business one day for more value and potentially retire with a golden parachute. And we'll explain that more later on. Okay, so I have some housekeeping rules, but since this is a pre-recording, I'm going to go ahead and skip over these because they don't apply because we don't have any live people here. But if we did, we would go over these things and I'd ask you to participate and have some good behavior and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. And here's a 30-second introduction. What qualifies me to be the presenter of this information? So if you want to go back over the slides, you can read all of this information about me, but just real quick, let me introduce myself real quick. I wrote a book called The Bespoke Startup. It's my most recent publication, and it's a business incubator guide for aspiring entrepreneurs. What I want to do is help others with information that I wish I had when I first launched my first business. I've owned several different businesses over the last 2 decades. My most successful one was a real estate appraisal company, which I ran for almost 9 years and was making over $100,000 a year at the peak of my performance with a small 4-person shop in Miami. And we appraised properties over $500 million worth of real estate. And I don't want to get too deep into that, but that was my main business that I ran. I own several companies now, all at the startup level. I'm still building them up. But anyways, this gives me some credentials on how to do this. Plus I have a master's degree and a law degree. Anyways, it may seem that my business model for serving startups is not entirely complete. And that's because I'm building it as I go along. And this is really not my business model to serve startup entrepreneurs. My business model is actually to work as an M&A advisor. And so I'm right now going back to school to get a master's degree in accounting. I have a master's degree in hospitality management. And like I said earlier, I have a law degree. So my area of specialty is really helping entrepreneurs, early stage entrepreneurs, map out a long-term growth plan for selling their business. But I do this more as this program here, the Bespoke Startup, and the BSW workshops, more as a philanthropic activity that I enjoy doing. Because my real business is serving established business owners to help them scale and then one day sell their business using micro M&A, micro private equity, and some strategies for launching using syndications until you get to a point where you can sell your business to a private equity fund and exit out with a golden parachute. More about that is available in my next set of 12 workshops, which is called the Entrefluential Empire Builder. Let me tell you a quick little bit about my company. So Coleman Tanner Enterprises has 3 different branches. We have Coleman Tanner Realty, Coleman Tanner Financial, and Coleman Tanner Consulting. At Coleman Tanner Realty, we help entrepreneurs buy and sell businesses. At Coleman Tanner Financial, we manage the bookkeeping, tax preparation, payroll, business valuation, and financial management advisory services for our business owner clients. And then at Coleman Tanner Consulting, that's where we specialize in working with established small business owners, sub 30 million in annual top line revenue, so that they can use our proprietary Entrefluential Empire Builder system to build a strategic framework that's custom tailored to quantum leap your business growth from entrepreneurship to enterprise, and then from enterprise to a rapidly growing holding company backed by private equity funds with the goal of exiting the business in 3 to 7 years so that you can exit with a golden parachute and have the time and money freedom to achieve your next life goal, whether that be to take it to the next level of creating a new business or traveling around the world and everything in between there. At Entrefluencer Training Company, this is like my philanthropic type business. This is where I guide startup professional service-based entrepreneurs through the foundational stages of ideation, validation, branding, and market research and launch, as well as provide marketing tips, recommendations for back office tools and support, and instructions on how to use our small business improvement matrix to improve your business as you grow. And you can find the small business improvement matrix available on our Instagram page at The Entrefluential Life. All right, what's the scope of this training? Who is this training for? The scope of this session is to guide aspiring entrepreneurs through 3 steps. Number 1, identifying a business concept that aligns with your skills. Number 2, assessing market demand. And number 3, matching the business with your long-term goals. All right, before we go any further, I want to take a quick assessment to see where you are. And so I'd like you to take out a piece of paper and split it into 3 columns and write down, like this here, split it into 3 columns and write down a 1, a 2, and a 3 at the top. And for number 1, I want you to answer the question and rate yourself from a 1 to a 5 in the first column, with 1 being a low score, like an F in grade school, and a 5 being a high score, like an A in grade school. So the first question is this: how well do you understand the difference between an idea and an opportunity? If you fully understand the difference, give yourself a 5. If you don't know the difference, give yourself a 1. If you somewhat can distinguish between the 2, give yourself a rating between a 2 and a 4. Okay, in column number 2, I want you to do the same thing for the next question. And the question is, how well do you know your own personal zones of genius? And how well do you know what motivates you? If you are clear about your top skills and the things that excite you, give yourself a 5. If you're not clear about those 2 things, give yourself a 1. If you have some idea of your skills and your interests, give yourself a rating between 2 and 4. And our third question, and this is our final question for this quick self-assessment, is as follows. How good are you at brainstorming frameworks, such as a Venn diagram, a KWL chart, or some other type of graphic organizer that you can use to generate business ideas that are aligned with your zones of genius and your interests. If you're very familiar with brainstorming frameworks, give yourself a 5. If you haven't used a brainstorming framework in the past, since grade school or high school or whatever, well, high school is grade school, or college, give yourself a 1. If you're somewhat familiar with them, but you may not be using them to align your business ideas with your skills and your passions, then give yourself a rating between a 2 and a 4. All right. The goal of this self-assessment that you just took is not to admonish you for a lack of clarity. Rather, it's intended to bring awareness to the need to fine-tune your business ideas. A great business idea isn't just any idea, it's the right idea. And by right, I mean one that has been fine-tuned to optimize its chances of success in the marketplace. Does anyone have any questions? Well, there's nobody here. This is a pre-recording. But I would ask, if you do have any questions, you can leave your questions in the comment section, because this will be on YouTube. Go ahead and leave your questions in the comment section or on our website so that I can answer them in the future when you watch this video. And now we're going to begin our first mini presentation. So here are some common myths that have become so cliche that they erode the well-meaning intentions behind them. While following your passion, solving your own problems, and showing others how to do it, and then starting now, pivot later, are all true, they're only half of the startup equation. Let me explain. The 3 parts that are missing from this equation here are market demand, your skills, and your long-term desires. The best way to distinguish an idea from an opportunity is to run it through these 4 filters: desirability, feasibility, viability, and founder fit. Is this something people truly want? That's desirability. Can I build it with the resources I have? That's feasibility. Can it make money and scale up? That's viability. Does it energize me? And can I commit to this for the next 3 to 5 years or more? That's founder fit. That concludes our first mini lesson in this workshop. Next up, we have a short hands-on activity that will take this lesson from conceptual to practical. We're going to create an idea Venn diagram to refine our startup business idea. Let's get started. Here are your instructions. If you already have the handout for today's workshop, then all you need to do is turn to the page with the 3 circles on it. If you do not have the handout, then you'll want to take out a sheet of paper and draw 3 overlapping circles. Okay, it would look something like this. Three overlapping circles. In the first circle, I want you to write what I'm good at. In the second circle, I want you to write, or right next to the circle, what excites me. And then for the third circle, right next to that, write what people pay for. Now, the piece that connects in the middle of the 3 circles, that's called the nexus. That nexus is where it's called your idea zone. And that's where you're going to brainstorm 5 ideas that come from each of the 3 circles. That's going to be your zone of genius. So go ahead and take a few minutes to complete this activity. And then pause the video while you complete that, and then come back and hit play, and we'll continue on. Okay, so if you already filled out the 3 concentric circles, what you're good at, what excites you, and then what people are paying for, the next step is to write down 5 ideas that intersect at the nexus between what you're good at, what excites you, and what people pay for. We're looking for 5 business ideas that should come to mind that you can specialize in based on your prior answers from the 3 circles. These 5 ideas, again, are your zone of genius. If you need more time, just pause the video, brainstorm, and then when you're done and you're ready to move on, come back. Okay, so assuming that you already took your time to fill out your 5 ideas, let's go to Clayton's Corner, because to illustrate how your answers might look, we can peek behind the proverbial curtain to see what Clayton discovered during his bespoke startup journey. Okay, so for what I'm good at, Clayton wrote marketing strategy, copywriting, networking, workshop facilitation, and analyzing trends. For the second circle, what excites me, Clayton wrote helping people launch businesses, telling inspiring stories, empowering overlooked communities, technology and small business, and podcasting. And for the third circle, Clayton wrote what people pay for, startup workshops, branding packages, coaching and consulting, marketing audits. And then this last one didn't fill out all the way, but it says podcast guest packages. There it is. Okay. And then for the fourth task, which is to brainstorm 5 ideas, this is what Clayton came up with. Number 1, startup launch coaching for first-time founders. Number 2, personal brand building for service-based professionals. Number 3, done-for-you podcast setup service. Number 4, storytelling-focused marketing agency. And number 5, an online course. Launch your first business in 30 days. Which one do you think he's going to go with? Okay, so during a live session, I would ask my audience, the attendees, to share 1 or 2 of their top ideas that they came up with. And if those 2 ideas surprise them. And since this is a recording, I would like to invite you to either share your 1 or 2 top ideas at our Instagram page instead of our private Facebook group, The Entrefluential Life, or here in the YouTube comments or on our website under workshops. Please feel free to share those comments with us so we can give you some feedback. It's always good. There's a Bible verse that says, as iron sharpens iron, so does one man sharpen another. And so I like to apply that in business as well. We should. And so think about that when you think about whether or not you should share your ideas and get some feedback from other people to see if it's a green light to move forward. But I'm going to show you how to get some more feedback in a more professional way in a little bit. All right, so now we're going to transition out of our hands-on activity to our second mini presentation for this workshop today. In the following lesson, we're going to learn how to become better problem solvers for our ideal customers. So you'll hear me talk about throughout this whole series, ideal customer avatars, or ICA. An ideal customer avatar is your ideal client who would benefit from using your products or services. Okay, so for presentation number 2, this title is From Interests to Income, Finding Problems Worth Solving. When it comes to problem identification, the easiest place to start is with yourself. With the help of a brainstorming activity, and some self-analysis, you can come up with a hypothesis to test in the marketplace. Let's start with these 4 questions. What frustrates you? What do friends ask you for help with? What do you wish was easier, faster, and simpler in your field, particularly in getting started working in your field or in running a process in your field? And then what market or industry do you already understand pretty well? When it comes to researching what people pay for, you can conduct your own primary research, or you can use secondary research, which is research that's already been done by others. Simple market research can begin with the great wizard of Google, the social networking juggernaut, Facebook, the Everything channel, YouTube, an exploratory site called answerthepublic.com, and discussion boards such as Reddit and Quora. For more intermediate research, 2 such resources include STDB Lite, that stands for the Site to Do Business. It's a tool that allows you to examine consumer spending in 1, 3, and 5 mile radiuses from your target market. And also, you can request a commercial trade area report from a real estate agent who specializes in commercial real estate. That's a report that will help you identify demographics and psychographics within your target market. For more advanced research, you should learn about Value Source and their research products that they have available for purchase. The best way to make money is to be a problem solver for your ideal client avatar, your ICA. It's a fancy way of saying your target customer, which I just explained. So the best thing to do is to find out what they want, then give them what they want. Now it's time for our second hands-on activity. This is called the frustration list. We're going to write down 10 things that our research shows that annoy us, that frustrates or overwhelms us or others in our industry, or that is a pain point or a desire for our ICA that we can solve. After you write down 10 things, I want you to circle the top 3 issues that you could potentially solve and would enjoy solving by either creating a new product, a new service, or by revising an existing product or service. So go ahead and pause this video, write down those 10 things, circle your top 3, and then hit the play button when you're ready to move forward. Okay, so let's return to Clayton's compass and see where his entrepreneurial journey is leading him and us. So for Clayton's frustrations, he wrote down, number 1, people start businesses with no audience. Number 2, everyone says, follow your passion, but they offer no structure to follow. Number 3, there's too many generic marketing agencies out there. Number 4, great entrepreneurs don't know how to explain their value. Number 5, no roadmap for launching a service-based business. Number 6, too many scams in the coaching industry. Number 7, difficult to balance creativity and structure. Number 8, social media changes constantly. Number 9, podcasts are being launched without marketing. Number 10, people get overwhelmed before they even start. And Clayton's top 3 problems to solve, he chose no roadmap for launching a service-based business. Number 2, people start businesses with no audience. And number 3, great entrepreneurs don't know how to explain their value. All right, so if you care to share, which idea on your list would you love to solve, even if it took a year to solve it? Okay, in today's third and final mini presentation, we're going to run our top 3 ideas through the idea filter test. The idea that scores the highest of the top three is going to be our winner and our big idea for our new business, our startup. The 5 filters test, the idea filter test, include the following 5 filters. Number 1, market demand. Number 2, recurring problem. Number 3, simplicity. Number 4, time to launch. And number 5, founder fit. For each filter, there is a question that you'll need to answer with a score. For example, question number 1 is, are people already paying for it or searching for it? If your answer is yes, there are a lot of people paying for it and there's a lot of competition in the marketplace, then you would score that with a 5. If there's no competition and your Google search volume is very low, then you would score that with a 1. Go ahead and rate your top 3 problem-solving ideas across all 5 filters that we just learned: market demand, recurring problem, simplicity, time to launch, and founder fit. After you've graded each idea, total the score from all 5 filters to see which of your 3 ideas has the highest score. That would be closest to a 25 because 5 points times 5 questions is 25 points. That will be your max score. The highest score is going to be your best fit idea. When you're done scoring all 3 problem-solving ideas, again, the maximum score will be a 25. That's 5 points per question. You want to look and see which of your 3 ideas scored the highest. Based on your skills, interests, and market demand, this refined idea is going to be your bespoke startup business opportunity. So go ahead and pause the video and score yourself for these 5 filters for your top 3 ideas. And when you're ready, hit the play button and we'll continue. All right, so let's check back in with Clayton one more time and let's see which idea he chose based on the 5 filters test and what idea and what his next steps are going to be based on his chosen idea. Okay, for problem number 1, Clayton wrote, no roadmap for launching a service-based business. The solution is launch coaching for first-time service-based entrepreneurs. So for market demand, he gave himself a 5. For a recurring problem, a 5. For simplicity, a 4. For time to launch, he gave it a 5. And for founder fit, he gave it a 5. So his total score for problem number 1 is a 24 out of 25. That's an almost perfect score. For problem number 2, which is people start businesses with no audience, the solution that he came up with is to launch a marketing agency for startup entrepreneurs. So in this test, he gave himself for market demand a 5, recurring problem a 5, for simplicity a 3, for time to launch a 3, for founder fit a 4. So his total score is a 20 out of 25. Not bad, but not as good as the first one. And then for problem number 3, great entrepreneurs don't know how to explain their value. So the solution that he came up with is to start a value pricing and brand identity development consulting agency for early stage entrepreneurs. And his total score was an 18 out of 25. Market demand 3, recurring problem 3, simplicity 2, time to launch 5. That was good. And founder fit 5. So of the 3, which one is the winner? And the winner is problem number 1, helping service-based startups to create a roadmap for their new business. And what will be Clayton's next steps? He's going to start building a 30-day coaching container That's small business lingo for a membership site, which is going to include downloadable tools, group coaching calls, probably live weekly Q&A sessions, and a private support community of facilitators to help members apply the tools and the techniques that are built inside of the coaching program that they can apply in their businesses. So, if you care to share, which idea scored the highest for you, and does that surprise you? Why do you think your proposed solution to that problem could become your bespoke startup launchpad? So let's summarize what we learned in this workshop with 3 mini presentations. We learned, number one, the best business ideas start with you, but they must also serve others. A great idea solves a recurring problem with simple, testable offers. And number three, using tools like the idea Venn diagram and the idea filters test can help you avoid falling for shiny object syndrome and ensures that you're solving a problem that the marketplace already has and actually wants. So, for your homework assignment, you should, if you want to do this homework, if you wish to accept this homework assignment, I want you to finalize your top problem and solution idea by tomorrow. And then to further commit to the startup process, make your intentions known publicly by sharing it with the Entrefluencer community, either on Instagram, on YouTube, or on our website under the workshops section. And then number three, I invite you to continue in this bespoke startup training process with us by attending our TBS workshop number 2, the bespoke startup workshop number 2, which is evaluating your idea, market fit and demand, and profitability. Now, if this was a live workshop, I'd invite you to share with some Q&A, but since this is a pre-recording, I'm going to invite you to share your questions in the chat. So if you want to make a comment in the, again, on YouTube, in Instagram, or on our website, please do so, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. This concludes our workshop. I want to thank you for joining me. But before you go, I'd like to share my contact information with you in case you want more resources like this in the future, and for those of you who may have an interest in working together. So please take a screenshot of this slide for future reference. I'd be honored if you would share this information with someone who may benefit from this material, and I hope that we can stay in touch. And lastly, I wish you all many successes in your entrepreneurial journey. Lastly, please accept my heartfelt thank you for inviting me into your home, your office, or your mobile device to facilitate this workshop for you. I truly appreciate the opportunity to serve you as a business broker, advisor, consultant, and educator. And I hope to see you again and that we can collaborate one day in the future. Take care and God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now.